Good day, folks. This is the Florida Golden Girl. Today's travel adventure takes me to the town of Merritt Island in Central Florida. Today, folks, we're going to be looking at a local historic and haunted cemetery. Folks, we're going to be taking a look at Georgiana Cemetery, also known as Crooked Mile Cemetery, because it's located on Crooked Mile Road. Now, this is a haunted cemetery. According to the Find a Grave app, this cemetery contains the grave of somebody by the name of Ethel Allen, whose murder is still unsolved today. And we are going to take a look at some very cool historic graves. So let's see what we can find, and we'll talk a little bit more about Ethel and her unsolved mystery. So our first one is Rose Standish. She was born in Wisconsin. She died in 1891. Now, I've been to a couple of other pioneer cemeteries in Merritt Island. I think you've seen how I was able to get through that. And I discovered that there's a few more pioneers buried here. Frank Munson died in 1919, who was a pioneer. A. Dell, who is labeled as a pioneer, died in 1952. And then this is their son, who died in 1918. See, look at this. You could just see how they've asked people to be respectful because, you know, I've seen YouTube videos where there's young kids that are just destroying graves, and it's just so sad the way the youth of today has no respect. This is W.A. Cox, who died in 1951. I had this whole cemetery to myself, but they want you out before twilight. So this is John Hall, who was 57 when he died. And then you have other halls here. Yeah, this is, then you have lighthouse service. So he must have been a lighthouse gentleman. John Ludwig Stirk died in 1912, served 17 years as a keeper at Canaveral Light. It is hot out. It's about 105 degrees humidity, heat index. This is Ida Kingman. So she was a couple 32 something years old. She's very young. And you have more early historic graves here. You have Francis Ramsey, and then he's only 2 years old. And then you have David Ramsey. And then you have Mary Orison. Ooh, so I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm back in the saddle again. You know, I know y'all enjoy the cemetery videos. I'm filming this in the summertime, and it's just, you know, when you get up there in age, you know, you just can't handle the heat like you used to. This is Annie Bruner, wife of Hugh Hughes. She died in 1915. And then Hugh died in 1921. Lots of baby graves here. Lots of infant graves. So this was the community cemetery where those that attended the Methodist Church, this is where they were buried. I really would like to know, I would love to see the pictures. Beth Bruner. And then you've got Arabella Silbreth, died in 1951. And then this is her husband, and he died in 1924. You got Pierce. Francis died in 1910, and Mary died in 1950. You know, this is, I've been to, as I mentioned previously, I've been to a few of the pioneer cemeteries. You've seen me, how I was able to weasel my way in and everything, but this is one I wasn't, I didn't know it existed. So you had Fidela Smalling, wife of Reverend White, born in New York, died in 1913, and then the Reverend, he died. So he died in January and she died the same year. And then you have Bauer, both died in 1935. Wow. You got more Rainey family, 1922. And then you've got Lily Ramsey, died in 1931. And then these are just really Milton Ramsey, died in 1950. And then they died in 1919. Earl died in 1941. Mamie died in 1977. And Gloria Ramsey Edwards died in 1982. And you see, look at this. Right there. I mean, literally the driveway's right there. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's a little bit too much for me. You have Rufus, born in 1850, died in 1924. And then Mary, who was his wife, died in 1941. How is everybody doing today? Rose died in 1929. Rosa, she died in 1920. Whew. So, Charles Stewart was a year old. No, not quite a year old. And then you see all that. And then you have another Stewart. He died in 1935. See, and this is daytime visitors welcome. Grounds closed after dark. And so, I'm trying to find the grave of Ethel Allen. And we'll see if I can find her or not. So, our first Civil War veteran, Chase Walker, Company H, 1st Maine Cavalry. Gertrude Provost died in 1957. Charles died in 1846. No, 1946. And then you have Catherine Corwine died in 1919. Helen Warner, 1932. What this is about? They still have recent burials here. I really don't like to disturb. You know, I'm just never been that person that will, you know, disturb anything. I just feel like that's just, I don't know. To each his own. My opinion is that it's just disrespectful. You know. You have NZ. These are more recent. That's a whole family Benzes right there. You got the Deese family. They died Henry died in 1931 and Lydia died in 1933. The mother, or the mother-in-law of somebody, died in 1925. There's another Deese here, died in 1928. Honor the brave. So they must be Civil War. Ah. So Charles, George, and Fritz. Camp Jackson, which is now Fort Jackson. They all died in 1918, which was the pandemic. George on transport, and then Fritz, Camp Jackson. So that was Civil War right there. So they fought for the South. Yeah, we already visited the Deese family. Woo. So you have Hill that died in 1932. Francis Scott died in 1931. You have the Osteen family. Donald died in 1935. Winston died in 1929. That's the parents. And then you have a World War I vet. And then you have another vet, but they were not in a campaign, died in 1981. And then you have Albert Winston, Air Force Major, registered nurse, daughter of Helen Osteen. So that's a caduceus right there, so that she must have been a doctor or something in the medical profession. So, what else do we have here? We've got the Cleveland family, 1940, 42. Ooh, this is an old one here. 1885. Catherine died 1896. Phoebe died in 1899. And then look at that. Oh. We have another vet here, another World War I vet, and Walter was in the Coast Guard. Now, you got another veteran there, but they died in 2007. They were not in any campaign. Robert Edwards, having finished life's duty, he's now sweetly at rest. Died in 1940. So, the Stewart family boy, he died in 1941, and Julia died in 1963. More Ramsey there. You have Miller, she died in 1982. Another Miller, 1962. Thomas was a World War II vet, and he died in 1985. So we are up that way, and now we're making our way down. I'm trying to see if I could find that grave of Ethel Allen, and I don't know if I'm going to be lucky or not. But if not, then I will put that story in the description box below. Holman. These freaking shoes, I think, are too small for me. You know, I really don't have the best luck when it comes to shoes sometimes. You know, I'm probably going to have to get rid of them and buy a bigger size. Birkenstocks are expensive as heck. Trafford. And then looks like they're burying somebody. So, Wells. So Marlene Wells is getting ready to be buried. And then that's it right there. These look like these are newer graves. Right here. You have a World War II vet here. 1977. And then you see where I'm at? I'm in the back, but I don't see Jack Shearer, but he was born in 1933. And then you have, okay, so you have a World War II in Korea, so he was career, and he died in 2009. And then his wife died in 2016. What do you think? I mean, I don't know if I get a creepy vibe or not, but I do feel weird. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I just, like I said, there's just something about this place that just seems off. You have Pauline Marshock, died in 1932. But yeah, I think it's time to go. What did you think of your tour here at the Georgiana Cemetery? Merritt Island really is pretty. If you ever get an opportunity, you should check it out. This is John Robert Linder. He died in 1938. yeah, you get an opportunity, you should check it out. I mean, but yeah, this is Gunther. Died in 5 years old. Lots of children's graves. You know, just lots of children's graves. But that's going to do it for today. If you get an opportunity, like, subscribe, click on the notification bell to let you know when a new video will be uploaded. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. Word of mouth is how my channel grows. Slowly but surely, I'll get there one day, folks. But thank you for coming by, hanging out, coming with me on another travel adventure here in Merritt Island. I don't see the grave. But that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. And so